Greetings, flesh creatures. It is I, Megatron. On behalf of TFYLP, I want to congratulate you for listening to the most refined collective podcast on this miserable little planet Earth. Yes. Here you'll find knowledgeable fans discussing every aspect of Transformers and beyond. Now, enjoy the show while I continue my path to complete conquest of all of you miserable biological entities. Predacons, terrorize!
Hi, welcome to TFYLP, episode 511. I'm Lucas. I'm joined tonight by Rob.
Uh-oh, no sound.
Howdy, howdy.
There he is.
Sorry, having trouble on mute.
There you go. And Nick.
Hello.
And Phil.
How you doing? Happy New Year.
Yeah, happy New Year to everyone. So, get things started off right with TFYLP. So, but yeah, Rob, you can't joke about sound because after last week, we had a whole issue for about 15 minutes where everything just kind of completely collapsed as far as sound wise. So we had to restart and all that type of thing. So hopefully things are better today. So we will see. Oh, Zodron says another resurrected person. So there you go. Welcome back, Rob.
I never left. Just been busy.
Yeah,
It has been a minute, though. It's been a minute.
That's
Rob, I don't
true.
believe you're allowed to have a life outside of Transformers. That's part of the bylaws.
Sounds correct. My apologies.
Accepted.
Well, and I know Rick also said the same thing with the frame shop, that he's just been getting slammed for Christmas season. And of course, Nick, like, I'm shocked that you were even able to make last week. But you know, with the comic shop as well.
Yeah, it's been a crazy holiday season. We're up 40% over last year, so it's been really good.
Awesome.
Or last year was just really bad.
Well, it was our first year, so who knows? Little A, little B, perfect storm, you know.
You didn't go out of business, so it was a good year.
Yeah.
Better to be up than down. So I guess we got everyone's coming out with their top Transformers of 2022 list here. So we figured we'd do ours. I guess they're saying that Rob is here for the third party report. But to be fair, like, Phil probably has a few as well. So
Got one third party. This was a light year for me for anything like MP scale.
I feel like it's a light year overall for the MP scale stuff. It's like kind of where you're just filling gaps in or doing upgrades.
Did a lot of upgrades this year, to be honest. I mean, like, there's plenty of new stuff as well. Like, in total, I only bought like 30 figures this year total. That's Hasbro third party. I mean, I bought some other Ninja Turtle stuff, but like as far as Transformer and Transformer centric stuff, I bought about 30 figures and that's it. A few of them are Hasbro, most of them though are third party. But you know, like, of those, maybe 4 or 5 of those are upgrades. The rest were new characters that we didn't have any stand-in for. So there's still plenty coming out. I just think it's not 8 Optimus Primes anymore. People don't care as much about the tertiary characters, which, you know, I care about, other people care about, but you know, it doesn't make as much news a lot of the time. And then nothing official MP wise really came out since the Seekers, I think.
Senator Crosscut.
Yeah, and like maybe Nightbird came out this year.
Nightbird Shadow, whatever they call her.
Yeah.
MPM stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
and
we got
depends on if you count the MPG train bots or not.
Oh.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. Do you count the train bots riding?
They're masterpiece level engineering on a generation scale figure. So what do you do with that? Where does it really fit? I don't know.
Those things fit in the trash, man.
I love them. They almost made my list. Almost.
Well, but next year will be better for at least people interested in Takara stuff. I know we got Skyfire and Trailbreaker coming out. Yeah. So that'll be good.
I just paid for my Trailbreakers today, so.
Yeah.
Well, the question is whether or not they'll be on the top list or, like on the worst list.
On the naughty list. How was the Hasbro side? Because, I've been kind of checked out a bit. I bought a few Hasbro things. Was it slow or is it just...
I have over
crazy. Yeah.
Just about 200 items on my stuff I bought this year list of stuff that was manufactured in 22, not earlier. And I got to tell you, I had a really hard time. What?
Does that include snorkeling masks and swim fins or just figures?
No, yeah, all the merch. Anything that was manufactured this year and I bought this year.
Right.
About 200 items.
So is that 200 item list just toys or is it
it's everything.
Ancillary things? Okay.
Not comic books. That's a separate database.
Oh, okay.
Well, with the way you buy, Nick, though, that could be like 50 figures out of 200 items.
A lot of figural stuff on here. Not a lot of like dopey merch. Figural stuff. Anyway, the moral of that story is I had a hard time narrowing it down to 10, let alone 5. Because I felt like there was a lot of fun stuff from Hasbro this year, a lot of the stuff that I really groove on.
Awesome.
Well, yeah, Hasbro overall, so you get, I don't know, just in mainline, because we have the Studio Series line now as well, in addition to all the legacy stuff, and then, I don't know, I haven't actually tracked this, and Nick, you probably would be one of the best people, or Peter, or Rick, or whatever, to say, like, I feel like there's more exclusives coming out now. Is this right?
Yeah, because you've got, the Target and the Walmart exclusives, and it's not like it's just one exclusive to Walmart and one exclusive to Target. It's entire lines now. And then you've got all the Pulse exclusives, and then there's like the San Diego exclusives, which are just, a different level of Pulse exclusive. And then there's the Karatomi Mall stuff that gets imported through Hasbro Pulse. So Walgreens.
And the Amazon.
Amazon.
Right.
Yeah.
So everybody gets their own little special thing. And then a few of them get like shared exclusive, which makes me think they don't know what the word exclusive means, but I'll go with it.
Well,
can we pause on this note for a moment? There was an announcement this past week, that Walgreens is done with Marvel Legends exclusives. Have we heard anything about that in regards to Transformers and Walgreens exclusives?
Haven't heard anything, but man, I hope that means they're done with exclusives, period. Because if it's one less place I have to go looking for a thing, all the better.
Walgreens is not great at distribution to begin with.
No. Yeah, no.
Right.
And everything, I felt like, Marvel Legends or Transformers, it was always, if it's a Walgreens exclusive, either it's a shelf warmer because every store got 50 of them and nobody cares anymore,
right,
or every store got 3 of them, or only half the stores got 3 of them, and it's, triple price on eBay or something. It was real inconsistent.
Yeah. Always frustrating.
Walgreens is headquartered in Chicago's northern burbs, so I don't know if that affects anything. I've never had a hard time finding a Walgreens exclusive. Maybe like right when they come out, I've had a tricky time, but for the most part, and this is across the board, Marvel Legends, Black Series, Transformers, I've been able to obtain all of them and usually and then some. And even when I get the right timing and get the alert that they're available online, it's at my house usually the next day after I order it. Like the shipping is not supposed to be one day, but I think their distribution center is like southern or central Illinois, so I get that thing lickety split.
I suppose that's fair. It's probably been a while since I've had a hard time with a Walgreens exclusive, but the memory sticks with you.
Yeah. And if you missed out on Red Alert, at least in Chicagoland, they're showing up in spades. So I don't know what that means for Minerva. If that means Minerva will show up sometime like late 2023 inside Walgreens stores, but Red Alert is hitting shelves en masse right now.
Well, Red Alert was the exclusive last year, right?
Last year. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's
Shouldn't have taken a whole year to get through distribution, That's not a good sign.
No.
Well, And that's where, you're looking for an exclusive. Say you go to your local Walgreens and you see a metric crap ton of last year's exclusive. You're like, oh no, like they're never going to get the new one because they're not going to sell through the old one.
Like, I wonder how much of that is just poor distribution versus the pandemic woes. I mean, that's affected. Like, I know I buy Ninja Turtle stuff, and like I got Super 7's Ninja Turtle like wave. I think it was like wave 6 arrived, and then like 3 days later, wave 5 arrived. Like, and Super 7 had been like, these toys are done, and they've been done, but they just, they're low priority, I guess, or whatever. So they just got shoved to the back until eventually both waves got shipped at the same time. Finally, just.
And that's not everyone. Low priority on the part of Super 7. That's low priority on the part of probably their shipping partner or their factory partner, one of the two.
Like, they probably paid whatever the cheaper rate is, and it's not medical equipment, or whatever. It doesn't expire.
Right.
So
it gets here when it gets here.
Well, that's
and I've seen some of that with NECA too the past couple of years, that obviously pandemic related, that like nothing, delay. And it's like, oh, here's 50 things that you just ordered or that you've ordered over the past 2 years. It's all at once.
Not to beat that dead horse, but I will say again that I got hit with $3,000 in charges from Pulse in the span of, 45 days or something.
Because it all finally came in.
It just all showed up at the same goddamn time. And it's like, I ordered this over the course of 2.5 years. How can you just charge me for everything all in the, it's like, who has money for this? So, that was obnoxious.
It's a conspiracy with Hasbro and the credit card companies.
Something like that.
So, yeah, in Walgreens, too, it's not like they care that much about toys. There's probably a certain buyer somewhere there that says, oh, we should make this a priority so that people visit our stores more often, whatever it may be. But, like, I'm sure overall as a company, it's like they probably don't care that much.
They don't care about our toys, right? They don't care about toys being sold to the adult collector. What Walgreens wants is, mommy, buy me that. The $5 to $10 impulse thing while your kid is screaming while you're waiting for your prescription. They want as much of that as they can get in there. They want Hot Wheels. They want Rescue Bots. They want, whatever the cheapest Cyberverse toys are, the $10 knockoff Barbie doll. That's what they want. So it's not surprising to me at all that they would go, we're not doing a Marvel Legends exclusive anymore, because Marvel Legends has priced themselves out of that market. At $25 to $30 a shot now, what 5 to 10-year-old kid is getting a Marvel Legend anymore?
Yep.
It's not happening.
Absolutely. I mean, that's where, and I know, Nick, you had shared that. It's probably a good topic to actually have a full show on about the, what do they call it? The adult collector market and all that type of thing, and like how that's the growing part of the market, whatever. But I mean, I've said this before with my own kids, is that as toys continue to go up and the minimum price is $25, that's no longer an impulse. Like when I go to the store with my kids and they say, hey, like, I want this toy, if it's a $5 or $10 thing, I'd be like, oh, whatever, you've been good, sure, gonna do it. Versus like not a chance, and my kids start looking, they're like, oh well, I can just go buy a video game. It's like, Dad, I don't want the $25 Marvel Legends toy. I want you to buy me a $25 Fortnite gift card.
Yeah.
So
we're at the point where like 2 Marvel Legends is essentially a video game at this point.
Wow.
What would you rather buy?
Video games, I guess, technically have went up in price too. So
it depends.
$60 a game for the most part.
The gaming market is
70
a lot more varied than you're thinking. Like D4 pre-order, I think is like $70 or $80 at the cheapest. It's ridiculous. And I got into the closed beta. I shouldn't say they'll revoke my access, whatever. It was really boring. is the TLDR on it? As somebody that loves action RPGs, but then like if you like, they call it the boomer shooters. But the retro first-person shooters, things in the vein of Quake and Doom and that stuff, it's had a real revival the past few years. Those things are $20, $25 a pop, and they're awesome. Like, they're a lot of them are made by one person.
How many hours you spend on a given video game, even in the $25 to $30 range, versus, that Marvel Legend figure.
Yeah, that feels the same as every other Marvel Legend figure that's ever came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, its prices are weird. They're all over the map.
And it's weird because I have no problem spending, $50 to $60 on a figure art.
Figure
I
arts
feel
are
like
a lot
it's a
nicer than
better
Marvel
value.
Legends.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think it depends on the value proposition. I think there was a while when Marvel Legends, they upped the quality and the price, didn't go up quite a bit. And now the prices went up, so you're like not seeing it quite as much. So
that and Marvel Legends has been around for 20 years now. They have done all of the A-list characters multiple times. They are on to their Z-list characters. So for me, it's
but now they have pinless joints, so they get to go back and do everybody all over again.
Well, yeah, and I just opened up.
Now they have a pink hat
set to get the new Daredevil, and yeah, this is a freaking sweet toy, and the new Elektra with that hair head is unbelievably awesome. So
I love that.
Yeah, I mean, so there's definitely upgrades for some of these toys that are making me worth buying them. Either A, I buy them on sale, or B, like I have the original that I can sell for a few bucks to replace it with. But when it comes to Marvel Legends and Star Wars Black Series too, for that matter, it's just like, okay, well, kind of a cool character, but I'm gonna wait till it goes on clearance because nobody else cares about this character. Well, very few people care about that character. Iron Man, Wolverine, Captain America, Thor, those will sell. Those you might want to pick up right away. But if it's Speedball, it's
that's a character.
Yeah, that's a character. He's a freaking cool character.
That's a character. What do you mean? That's a character.
I have never heard of that person.
You never heard of Speedball?
Not a superhero, no.
Oh, jeez.
yeah. This is.
He hung out
Speedball.
with Night Thrasher.
Yeah,
he was Warriors, man.
Warriors. Yeah,
he was the whole catalyst for Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
Civil War was like a Spider-Man thing.
No, well, there was a big Spider-Man story arc.
Yeah.
But
I read the 6 issues years back, and that was it. That's all I read of Civil War. It was well after its heyday at that.
But yeah, I mean, the thing is with certain toy lines, when they're scraping deep into the wells of the character encyclopedia, it's just like, yeah, there's no point in paying retail. You can wait till Christmas time.
See,
they're going to do big sales.
That's fascinating because when you look at the Transformers side of that, sometimes it's the complete opposite. You get a really obscure guy, it sells out, and then everybody's got to track it down. Like what mainstream kid is scrambling for a Crasher figure, but we all want it, and right now it's, scalper bait.
But that's
was
not
it short
like,
packed?
No, it's just Walmart exclusive.
Full distribution is hit yet though with Crasher.
I mean, I think to Nick's larger point, though, I think it's really tough to predict that.
Yeah.
I think if you do a Wave 1 Optimus Prime, or honestly Wave 1 anything, Wave 2, like those are always easy to find, to be honest. Wave 3.
By the time you get to Wave 3 or Wave 4,
if there's a Wave 5, ain't nobody gonna find any of it, and especially if it's a tertiary character that we might nerd out about. But
well, I feel like in general, most of the exclusives, especially with Transformers, like are usually pretty valuable. Like even if at the moment they go on clearance, like later down the road, they're worth.
Okay, the Beast Wars repaints, the Night Prowler and the Buzzsaw, and who was the other one?
No, they did didn't they do Retracts and Cybershark?
Sandstorm, thank you.
Sandstorm, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, those.
He's talking about
sorry.
the Earthrise repaints, yeah.
Got it. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the
But they're Beast Wars guys. But those are things that are on clearance now, and it's going to take them years to rebound. So it's not always a sure bet with the exclusives.
No.
Yeah. But most of the time, it's been a pretty good bet that most of those have sold out and end up going up in value pretty soon afterwards. So
I mean, it depends. What is it? T-Rex, the Beast Wars Target exclusive. He's not one that's taken off in price. So again, it's still fairly early. And then you've had situations where recently where it's like, here was a store exclusive and the prices have gone up and it's like, oh, now you can buy the Seeker Rainmakers at Entertainment Earth and those prices cratered. Or, the Earthrise Seeker 2-pack of Skywarp and Thundercracker became available to a ton of folks and a ton of retailers, and that price cratered, and then it sold out, and now it's back up again. So it's hard to tell, but I think the big thing is if it is a character that is higher in demand, especially anyone that's G1, that I'm sure you can say G1, especially one that's like 84, 85 cast, that character is going to be higher in demand, a la Cosmos here.
I think it's really hard to predict. I don't know. We've all been around the block a whole bunch.
You know how I know something's not going to be worth anything? Because I own it. You know when it is worth something? When I missed it.
It's like so much of it comes down to, it's not really just demand, it's stock and how many do they produce. And we don't know those numbers. And lots of times they'll do a second run and that'll quelch the demand. It was just at that breaking point, right? And then without knowing that other side of it, it's hard to know what we can know is if it goes on clearance, they made too many of them. That's really all I ever feel confident in saying.
That's not always true. Like a lot of the stuff that hit Ollie's and Ross right now is just stuff that got to their retailer too late, and it doesn't fit with their planogram, and they need to move it out. It's like, all right, this stuff was supposed to be here 6 months ago, out.
Oh man,
and they're just dumping it.
Yeah.
So those are the things to kind of watch for later.
And then how many things have we seen that I remember some toys being on clearance for years, and then for some reason 3 years later I'll be interested in it. And it's like, oh, that's 4 times the price. That's set in big bad clearance for like $20, and now it's $120.
Yeah.
And that's always, I don't know how that happens, but it does multiple times.
I think
it's hard to predict, but it's interesting to watch.
Yeah.
So, all right. So now that we've spent half an hour talking about other things, I guess we'll go ahead and start going on our top Transformers of the year. So I guess starting off,
doing 5, yeah.
Before we're gonna do each top 5 each, but before we get to that, if you guys have any honorable mentions, or if I guess Nick said that he wanted to do some worst figures. So I don't know.
I didn't actually get a chance to look at that. I was mostly kidding earlier.
Oh, I have
the whole list in front of me. I'm sure I can pick one out.
I got a few worst.
Yeah.
I didn't know if we were going to do like top 4 and then, speed round honorable mentions and worst and then our favorite, or do you want to do worst, honorables, and then top 5?
Just start off with the worst and honorable mentions. Like I was going to say for myself, like honestly, I was debating about if I was going to pull out any honorable mentions because like there's a lot of good figures for me, like that were good. And so it's like I could come up with 5 at least, just within arm's length here. But so I'm not even going to bother with an honorable mention. But I guess Rob, I don't know if you want to go ahead and go. What's your list?
Yeah, kind of like what you said. Even though I'm more on the 3P world, I was already thinking this earlier when I started writing up my list and stuff earlier today. And then Anna made a comment that everything was a steady stream of fine. And I feel like my stuff was better than fine. Like it was all really good. I really liked everything I bought, but like there wasn't anything that floored me though. So it's like everything's like an 8 out of 10. So it's like, and so it was really tough. I just kind of got the ones that I thought were cuter or I thought were more neat, but there was still a lot that didn't make it. But yeah, some shout outs I probably would make is like Fans Toys Cerebros. That's a really cool figure. It just transforms into a head. And I think it's neat in that it means that they're at least are seriously considering, I think, doing a full Fort Max. And I think that is the most insane shit I've ever heard. But it's a really solid figure other than like a ball peg for a hand. It can't hold anything. It's terrible. But other than that, it's a really great figure. Finally bought a version of Cell.
Oh, nice.
Studio Cell. I'd said if they ever made these type of colors, I would buy it, and they did. And it, it's not on my list, but it dunks on Hasbro Unicron in every way. Just dunks on it hard.
You got that flapjack backpack stack.
Exactly. It's a really great transformation. But yeah, and of course Moon Studios Raiden. It's really solid. It's all really good, but like none of it wowed me though, But it's really solid. I'm just so happy that they did a Raiden that doesn't look like trash. Yeah, it's all good. I mean, there was Transart did Transmetal 2 Megatron. Everything Transart does is good. It's all consistent. It's not the best quality plastic, but it's all looks really nice. They're all fun transformations. And X Transbots did a lot of stuff I like too. Their Hauler is probably the nicest figure they've ever made, or their Inferno. It's just really high quality. Their Springer, I really liked. I thought it was fun. And their Magnus looks amazing. I didn't hate the transformation as much as most, but just a lot of good stuff. And KFC finally did the last of the bikes. They did the last 4 G1 bikes and a couple of other things, and those are always solid. But yeah, it's all good. All of it's good, but it doesn't belong in my top 5, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, there's my rattling of my list.
But yeah,
my honorable mention.
I don't know. Like, I know Anno's saying it's good enough, and I don't know if I would quite say that. But I suppose we've been doing this long enough that it takes a lot to wow you. It takes very impressive, new engineering or something along those lines, or just the quality just shoots up and all that. But it's harder to get that value proposition too. Because everything's more expensive nowadays. So.
Phil, you say you were about to?
Yeah, my honorable mention is I don't know if this might be on some folks' top 5 list. For me, it's just sort of honorable mention, and that's HasLab Star Saber. I don't dislike this toy at all. I think it is a cool toy, but just for what it is, this mode right here is fun. It's cool. It's fun to play with, but it's what is it? It's a spaceship. And I don't have any nostalgia for the original Victory stuff. I think they're cool looking. I think they're neat. I think the designs are fun. I think there's a ton of play value in this toy. I just all right. It's a blocky spaceship. Yeah, it's good. It's really good. It just doesn't floor me.
Did yours have the misses? The duplicate parts, was that a widespread issue or was that just a handful?
Oh, I didn't hear anything about that even.
Oh yeah, some people they got 2 of the left shins or whatever, and so they couldn't combine. They couldn't do part of it. I just skim, So
yeah,
it's good that it wasn't widespread at least.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a fun toy. I just I don't know. There's a few nitpicks about him, and it's just what he turns into, and his design itself doesn't grab me. But I don't want to say it's a bad toy. It's a very, very good toy. It's not something that I'm hell yeah.
The triple headmaster though, that's always fun.
I mean, the way his head turns for Saber with the Brainmaster in there, that's freaking fantastic design. Again, it's a really, really fun toy. I don't know. I'm not there with it. I feel like I should like it more because everything, even talking about it right now, I usually love toys that have this much interactivity and play value. I want to like it more. I just feel a little bit meh because again, the alt modes specifically are just okay, that's a spaceship, and it's faithful. It's faithful to what it's supposed to be. It's just what it's supposed to be is.
Yeah.
It's there.
I got to say, I really enjoyed the masterpiece. So that itch was already scratched for me. Yeah. When it came to this guy. Maybe I'll feel differently about with Thesaurus, whatever we call him these days.
Well, it depends if you want Peter to smack you or not.
Well, then I'll pick the most obnoxious pronunciation and go with that.
Dias Eurus, I think is it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Deathsaurus.
Yeah. If you call it Deathsaurus, then I think that's the incorrect pronunciation.
Peter's hopping in his car.
Go with that.
Anyway. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to say too much about Saber because it may potentially be in my top 5. So I'll give my thoughts later on here on that. So, I guess Nick, what's your honorable mention disappointments?
Well, okay. My biggest disappointment of the year is the Super 7 Ultimates as a line. I was really excited for a couple of them. Who was in that first wave? Where is that note?
Bombshell and Bonsai-tron?
Bonsai-tron. Yeah, I was really excited for the Bonsai-tron, and then I got it in hand, and I was like, I'm not even going to open this now. This is not what I wanted it to be. And, like, I know what the Ultimates figures are.
It's very much
so I don't know
figure.
why I was expecting them to be any different than the Thundercats or the He-Man stuff, but I don't know. Something was missing there.
I didn't even have those on my list anywhere. I forgot I bought them this year.
Yeah.
Those two. I bought Bonsai-tron and Bombshell. And it just, I don't know. It felt they really cut the corners as much as possible.
Yeah.
His partner being just one solid block. It should have been 3 or 4 parts. It should have had bendy legs. And, like, they don't hold their weapons well. There's just so much lack of articulate. Like, I didn't expect them to transform or anything, right?
But like,
come on,
I would have liked a higher quality action figure for that price, you know? And like, the size is weird. They're such a weird size. It doesn't fit with, like, if you're going to do an articulated figure of a Transformers character, it should fit in with the rest of the regular line so they could at least live on the same shelf. I don't know. Maybe that's asking too much.
I don't know. I mean,
obviously,
other people. Oh, sorry.
Obviously, other people agree with how we feel about them because that line obviously isn't doing well. They have
everything is at like half price clearance on Entertainment Earth right now, and the next wave is just 2 repaints. Exactly. I'm thinking that none of that's a good sign.
Yeah, like they quit doing new molds. They've just been hawking out repaints of just A-list characters. Yeah. And that line's done.
Shame. Had potential.
And I was gonna say too, I mean, for the price point, because I think were they $60?
$55 a piece.
Or $55 a piece, right?
And Super 7's pricing.
Yeah.
For all the basic Ultimates. Some of them are a little more.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like, I probably should say my honorable mention would be like that 3A Optimus Prime. But the 3A stuff where or 3-0, whatever.
Yeah, it's 3-0 now.
3-0. Like, that stuff at a similar price point is just knocks it out of the park. It's just not even, close to what it is. And it's disappointing because I feel like some of the Super 7 stuff, I mean, you could honestly make an argument that the Hasbro, like non-transforming figures might be, preferred.
Better.
Like,
I assume
at $25 a throw, the red figures are way better than the Ultimates.
I assume we all have some red figures on our lists, on our top 5, if not most of it, right? It's gonna be the red show from here on.
So
I might have if they could have bothered to ship me a goddamn Shockwave, but instead I got 2 Galvatrons, so fuck me, I guess.
So if we were doing worst,
thanks, Pulse.
I would say that this has to be the worst figure of the year. It's definitely the worst one I bought. Is this stupid thing that came with lead foot?
Hang on, I gotta change my top 5 now.
I didn't want this. It just came with something else I bought. So at least I didn't have any expectations of it. This thing is fucking terrible. I hate it.
Oh.
Skullgrin's probably my most disappointing figure. He looks really great in robot mode, but this thing is not fun. And the transformation's terrible. I don't know. I was really disappointed in that, but yeah.
Not particularly intuitive, that one.
The probably my worst 3P figure that I bought this year is MMC's Steeljaw.
Oh, wow.
Which is a real surprise. And that's kind of like, I didn't expect anything from the dumb mammoth thing, right? I expected something from this. And MMC is always so solid. And this thing, it's not fun. It doesn't look great in either mode. I know it makes a rectangle, but all the other in that tapes line they do is so good. And then that thing, it was a real big disappointment for me. So,
well, I'm curious because I thought Anna had said that she enjoyed that figure, and I know Catherine owns it as well, I believe. So I'm curious to hear. I guess she says
the transformation
sucks. So there you go.
Okay, the transformation isn't great. And it just doesn't look good.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Yeah.
So I would say my most disappointing toy this year, I think Super 7, I forgot about that because it's just so disappointing I did forget about it.
Right.
But my Shatterglass Soundwave, I was disappointed with. It's a little bit of a personal QC thing where his symbol is not where it should be. It's not aligned properly.
Oh, wow, I can't unsee it now that you said it.
Yeah, and then he just, I don't know, for some reason these colors just make him look blockier and kind of fatter than the G1 colors did. And then, I think even though he himself is not a terrible toy, he comes with a terrible toy, and that is the Ravage from Earthrise or whatever. This is just such a piece of crap.
The Universe Ravage is such a better figure. I don't understand how they got it so wrong this time.
It's such an awful toy. So yeah, the fact that it's like, I can't stand broccoli. And so people will like make something with broccoli and just pick it out like, no, the broccoli has touched the stuff I like. It has tainted it. So crappy Ravage has tainted Shattered Glass Soundwave for me. So yeah.
I also find it ironic that for whatever reason Hasbro's had kind of an issue with yellowing figures, like certain ones, over the last year. And ironically, all these Shattered Glass figures they've been releasing are all white. So it's like you're sitting there going, oh gosh, is are these things going to end up yellowing? And
just throwing that money right in the toilet.
I didn't know it was that widespread a thing. There's a Transformer thread I follow in a completely unrelated form to anything. They just have one thread for Transformers, it's an old form. And then somebody was posting pictures of their Santa Prime, and like the trailer, like half of it was yellowed, another half was fine. And they sent him
right out of the box.
So that was a pretty widespread thing then?
Between that uncommon. And the Shattered Glass toys showing up yellowed and a couple other figures too, it has been a widespread thing over the last 2 to 3 years now.
Is it sitting in shipping containers? Is that
could be. It could be they're sitting in the shipping container in the heat of the summer. But like, why are we only having this problem now?
But it's like, it's completely random though too. Like I think I had, was it my junk heap? I think that had like one piece of it, like you could tell like the gray was somewhat yellowed, but like most of my other stuff has been fine. So it's like, it's just completely random. I feel like some of these figures that have been yellow.
By just that
right, Motormaster was another one. Ron said in chat there.
That was probably hard to see yellowing in because it's gray.
No, I'm saying like the gray plastic has been yellowing too.
That's what I'm saying. It's harder to notice in gray, I think, is all I'm saying.
So how much do they have to fuck it up for it to be yellow?
Right.
Somebody forgot to put in a little extra salt into that batch of plastic. There you go.
Basically.
But anyway, all right. So I guess should we get top 5 going here?
Yeah, let's do it. Although Phil's already put one of my top 5 on his bottom list there.
I mean, again, mine's a personal. If his symbol was more centered, I'd be.
We have fun.
Yeah. Or your opinion's just terrible, Nick. Take it or leave it.
You're off his Christmas list.
So who's going first?
Go Lucas. He's the host.
I guess I'll go first. So my number 5, I'm not even sure like some of the order and all that, but Cosmos, I guess, is my number 5. So sucks it's an exclusive. But it's just a fun little chunky figure. And I feel like all of the mini bots really has helped them going up to deluxe scale from the old core legend scale or whatever. That this is what I want in a Cosmos. And again, I feel like on a lot of these figures too that I'll be like showing off, it's like getting out of the Masterpiece game. It's like getting this. I don't feel as bad about that. I mean, obviously I know the Masterpiece Cosmos, ones like X Transbot did and MMC and whoever else has done them, Fans Toys, they're much better, but I still enjoy this. This is a fun, like just little fiddlebot, he looks the part.
My one downside about that figure and what kept him off my list is that his UFO mode is too chunky. He's too much of a chungus.
It's fine.
But he's great in robot mode. I love him.
Yes. I'll jump in after Lucas. Cosmos was on my top 5 list as well. I love his transformation. It is a really, really fun transformation. Obviously, it's not an alt mode that we get, too commonly. So you're going to get some different transformation techniques, but he's just fun. The first time I transformed him, it felt fun, kind of easy. I love, the way his head just flips around there. It feels so just, I don't know, just old school in terms of that transforming technique, but still, like, I don't think I've seen that on a Cosmos before. If someone else has done that, I apologize for not, picking up on that, but it looks the part in terms of being everything I want from a Cosmos, and he's a fun figure. It just, I'm sorry if you had to pay out the nose for him or haven't been able to find him yet, but hopefully you will in 2023 be able to get your hands on him because he's a cool toy.
Rob, you want to go?
Sure. My number 5, and I triple checked. This shipped to me in February. Paid for it in March of 21, though. But my number 5, I threw a bone to Hasbro with Black Zarek.
Oh, there you go.
A large part is just because it exists, right? Like, how else we're going to get a Black Zarek? 3P. There was those old ones that got made by Make Toys, but those were completely their own aesthetic. Like, people are kind of scared to touch this for obvious reasons. It's a big investment. But I don't know. He's totally solid.
He's very pretty. I do love that toy.
They gave him the spear, and they did, some proper remolding or whatever to make sure it's not just a Scorponok repaint, and I appreciate that. So,
head sculpt is killer.
Right? Face sculpt is on point. So yeah, I was happy to get a pretty big Black Zarek. I don't think that's going to come around again. So, yeah.
And he probably won't crumble to dust if you look at him funny.
Probably not. Like, his gold isn't as swirly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel like that figure overall, like, that Scorponok mold is possibly...
Everyone loves it.
Yeah, I mean, it's possibly the best Titan figure that they've done. So the fact that they're doing a Black Zarek with it, it probably would be in my top list if I had actually opened it, but I have no space for these Titan figures anymore, and so mine is still sitting in a box. So
bad.
I don't even see him in my database. I may have missed cataloging him.
I triple checked. I was like, did that really come out this year? But yeah, it was February's when mine shipped.
Turns out Nick never actually bought him.
Oh no, no. He's open in my room upstairs. So I bought him. I bought extras too, because I said, let me get some for the shop. That was a mistake.
No.
Yeah.
You're like,
my number
surely
5.
the average consumer will love a Japanese. Yeah. Like,
what do you mean you don't know who Black Zarek is?
It's
going to be worth something.
Was purple and green.
Yeah.
Imagine somebody that starts really collecting stuff in like 2 or 3 years from now, and they want a Black Zarek. Like, it's unlikely to get reissued or made another one. Like, that's.
Yeah.
It's it's a long-term play, unfortunately.
To be honest, all those Titan figures are kind of like that, where a lot of them are just going for crazy prices, or were at least, just because it's like they're not reissuing them, and so it's like if you want the official version of it, you got to go back a few years, and so we're used to some of those Fort Maxes and whatever else, like where they went on all these clearance for $50, and now it's worth several $100s. So
yeah. So my number 5 spot is going to be G-Axis, Legacy G-Axis, because goddamn it, yeah.
Oh shit, I love that figure. I thought that was last year. I really thought it was last year.
Yeah.
Nope.
He's great. He's a great figure. The design is nice. He looks right. I've wanted this figure for 30 years now, so it's nice to have him.
He probably would have replaced Black Zarek in my top 5 if I had realized he came out this year. I really thought he was last year. It's my most favorite thing Hasbro's done in probably 5 years or more. Like,
I was shocked, Rob, that he's not on your list.
I goofed. Like, no, that figure is great. They did it right. He has all kinds of fun articulation, much more than a typical Hasbro figure. He doesn't have like as much hollow parts everywhere as a typical Hasbro figure. it was just.
I did really enjoy the transformation on him. It's fun.
Yeah, I've transformed that thing a billion times. It's good fun. It so looks the part. Yeah.
And again, killer head sculpt.
I love the personality in the head sculpt too. It's not just a static neutral face and head. He's mean mugging you.
It definitely fits with the G2 masterpiece sideswipe. Or no, sorry, not G2, but that I guess it is G2. You know, they did the head sculpt based off the G2
right.
movie.
Yeah.
Like pretty. What was it?
Gave him the extra spiky tires for his shoulders. Yeah, Yanniger. Right?
Yanniger.
Yeah. Good stuff.
All right. Well, I guess Rob, you're up then.
I think you're up. You're up for your number 4, or was that your number 4?
What?
Lucas,
aren't you?
You're up for number 4.
Oh, is it number 4?
You went first.
Okay. Well, for some reason I thought you had your. Oh, you're right. You're right. Anyway, we'll throw G-Axis as my number 4. He was on my list as well. So I mean, I think that it's just the fact they did such, a relatively obscure character. They did him so well, and he's just such a solid figure. Overall, there's not a lot to say that bad about him.
The closest thing to a negative is why did it take so long? Said they gave us that orange crap for a decade. I don't know what that was about.
Yeah.
I honestly can't wait for them to repaint this one in orange. As stupid as that is, now I kind of have to have both anyway. So bring it on.
Their stupid decisions set a precedent.
Yep.
Make him robots in disguise, universe G-Axis or whatever.
My number 4 is the buzzworthy toy deco pterosaur.
Yeah.
I had the first one for a short minute. I don't know. I'm not a big Beast Wars guy. I like dinosaurs and I like robots. And I like robots that turn into dinosaurs. So this one was fun. And again, the idea we talked about of like the personality and the face sculpt and the head sculpt, this guy definitely has it. He's got that cocky kind of smirk, very, very Starscream-esque. But the purple, the metallic purple they used, plus that red and bright green, like this just looks
It pops.
fun.
It really pops.
Really, really does. Yeah, I'm ecstatic about the paint job. The bright green and the eyes that they get in there, like he looks fun. I mean, he almost it's you can tell you're playing with a mainline toy, but there's times where you sort of look at it and it feels like third party-esque because of that metallic sort of sheen you get from the purple that you don't normally find in a lot of the mainline Transformers toys. So yeah, he's number 4 on my top 5 list. So I don't know if any other folks would have him. Probably not, but I would, and just the theme in general, like darn good repaints this year.
Yeah. It was really hard for me to leave the Beast Wars guys off my list.
Yeah,
because there were some good Beast Wars. Actually, that's not true.
Zaldron,
My number 1 is a Beast Wars guy, but we'll get there.
Yeah. And yes, to Zaldron's point, yes, I know he's technically not a dinosaur. He's a prehistoric reptile. Nerd.
Yeah, I have a hard time putting repaints on my list. Actually, don't think I have any repaints on my list. So, but
Rob, did we do your number 4?
The first one's a good toy, and the repaint makes it better. Why wouldn't it be on your list?
it's true.
Heart wants what the heart wants.
All right, Rob, what you got?
So Phil had predicted that mine was just going to be 5X Transbots figures, but so all of mine have different makers. I was cognizant of that because I did really like everything X Transbots did, even though they're not perfect. But anywho's, this is not X Transbots. This is Deformation Space Blaster. It's their first. I mean, I think they've only done 2 toys, although I believe the thought is they used to be Transform Element. That was a scuttlebutt. I have no idea if that's true or not. But no, I really enjoyed this guy. The KFC Blaster is still a great toy. I don't deny that, and good engineering. And it's fun. But if you're like me and you like the tune accuracy as much as possible, they just did a really good job of it. It's a fun toy. It's not tough. The little ram horn is also fun. No, He's just solid. He's cool. It was one of the many upgrades this year type of thing. It was fun to get a new blaster, and yeah, I've heard that the deformation space Starscream is a nightmare, and from the videos I've watched, it looks like a nightmare. But this one is very much not a nightmare. So yeah, I'm curious to see
looks
what
like a good solid figure.
It is. It's a good time. Good time.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't heard much about that toy. So they just lost in the shuffle because Fans Toys announced theirs, and
Fans Toys definitely purposely announced theirs at a certain time, right? Like they like to do. So a lot of people are looking to that, but I try not to just buy everything Fans Toys does. Sometimes I will cave and go ahead and replace it, but no, that blaster's going to be in my spot. I'm going to skip the Fans Toys one. What's your number 4, Nick?
My number 4 was kind of a surprise for me. When I bought this figure, I was like, there's no way this is going to be better than the last one. I was pleased with the last one. I don't really need a replacement. I don't really care. And then I opened it and I transformed it and I went, oh. And so number 4 for me is the Armada Universe Starscream, who actually really impressed me. He is much cooler than I thought, and better than he's got any right to be. So if you haven't had a chance to mess with that one yet, the transformation is a lot of fun. The articulation is nice. The size is good. The accessories are cool too, which was, oh my God, he comes with Star Saber. So
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I know.
I guess no one has one handy to pick
You guys
up.
Don't have one?
No, I didn't get one, so sorry.
Oh.
I was debating about getting it. Now you make me want to go ahead and get it.
I'll be right back. Keep going. I'll be right back.
He's on my list of toys that I will probably pick up once he goes on sale a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that you go.
Sorry.
Oh, you go. Right,
Go ahead, Lucas.
Fine. Ron was saying that actually the DS Blaster also hit sell. Kind of like to your point there, Phil, about it just kind of went under the radar. Like it came out, a couple people talked about it, and then they're like, "Oh, Fans Toys announced one," and kind of shot off their momentum before it could really get going.
Yeah.
But it was one of those that when I first saw it, I was like, I love the KFC when I'm good, and then reviews of it came out, and I was like, I'm not really buying that much anyway, so I just went ahead and bought it, and I was like, oh yeah, this is my jam. So it was kind of one of those unexpected replacements. I had a couple of those this year. Stuff that I thought what I had would stay, and then it finally came out, and I was like, it's like 10% more cartoon accurate. So I guess I'll swap it out because I'm not buying much else, right? So.
Well, yeah, and then you realize that the KFC one is 8 years old at this point.
Yeah.
So it's just engineering techniques have gotten better. Toys just sometimes show their age more than you think they will.
And sometimes it's nice just to buy new stuff.
I feel like the blaster.
And so that's why
the
I
KFC
don't like
one
Nick.
is pretty good. So
it is. It's still great. This one's more accurate and still fun.
I mean, it's kind of like Soundwave too. It's like you can never have too many blasters or Soundwaves.
I think Soundwave was on my list last year. It may be my number 1. Like
Fans toy?
Yeah, I really liked it. I still kept my original though. I just put it in tape deck mode.
Do you have it in this dynamic, pose on your shelf in that tape deck form?
No, he's just standing on a riser next to the other one.
The joke. You're not gonna have a tape deck in a dynamic pose, Rob.
I'm trying to vamp while Nick is transforming his toy.
Yeah, but the Armada Starscream, it was just one where we had the Thrilling 31 that had come out, so I'm like, do I really need another?
Do I really need this? Yeah, I really did. Who knew?
I love the original version of that mold from Armada. Yeah. I don't anymore, but I had every color of it, all the repaints they did of it. Now, at this point, I think I only kept the Ramjet one. But yeah, I always loved that original toy. Very noisy if you go to move them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how many fucking bins of Transformers I buy where there's an original Armada Starscream in there, and you pick up the bin and it goes, or whatever the gun noise was on it. Just, oh god. Funny and obnoxious. Huh?
Hold it up for us. It's close enough.
Yeah, all right. So here he is.
Was he Voyager or?
He's Voyager. The missiles all flip forward, and he's got this sword wing thing, and he's got the star saber, which was a nice touch. It has the sculpted detail on there to make it look like the
original thing actually attached to the wing, or is it just the whole stuff?
No, it's a fake wing. It's
good.
Yeah. So, I sort of wish he had two of them so that he'd have matching swords, but I don't know enough about the original fiction to know if he had one or two.
You're fine to not know that.
Yeah.
You'll be all right.
The original toy was large enough and chunky enough that it made sense for that wing feature to do that, but especially once they brought them down to deluxe size, that really I felt made you got crappy little swords that fall apart.
Those were not
easy to lose.
Wasn't the original a Voyager?
Yeah, but it was
what were they calling that at the time? Was that MaxCon?
Mega?
I can't remember.
I don't know.
Well, it's just
it would be like leader class size today, though.
Well, that's what I was getting at. Is like the closest they had to a Voyager. I think it was Mega, and that's a today Voyager, which we would have called a deluxe in the Armada era.
Flip the cannons down too, so they don't sit on his shoulders all the time, or you can flip
It'd be
them
real
up,
good for the
whichever.
shelf.
He's great. I love him.
It's nice that they fold down because putting it on the shelf that makes it awkward.
Yeah.
So there you go, Rob.
I
You
love
gotta
that
go out
metallic-
and buy yourself an Armada Starscream.
The metallic blue they use on his cockpit is really, really eye catching.
I think it's just the way the light in here is the blue reflecting off my screen, maybe enhancing that a bit. He doesn't look all that bright in person.
All the pictures I've seen, I've found it very, very fetching.
Yeah. No, he's a nice toy with all the right paint and detail. And the transformation is a lot of fun too, especially the way they do the legs. That was a surprising bit for me. They sort of the way that they fold together in the back and sort of like flip to become the top and bottom. It's weird. It's fun though. Neat, clever.
Yeah.
So
I'm just surprised they got that different of a figure out of Combiner Wars Silverbolt.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess on to number 3. So my number 3 was an upgrade as well, and I said to myself, why do I need another one of this figure? Like, we just got, a couple of them recently, but he's so much better, which is the Studio Series Ironhide. I really like this figure. I think that they did it right. It's just that the head, like, I just really like just the silhouette of the figure. Overall, like, it just looks right to me. And I really like the head sculpt. Like, I feel like a lot of the last Ironhides, even like the Masterpiece, I don't know, just the proportions just seem off to me. And so like this, like, I really like the head sculpt, or, I just really like everything about him. And it's just a really neat figure.
They've definitely struggled with Ironhide. I don't think you're wrong. They've always struggled to get like a G1 looking Ironhide. I like the Masterpiece version of that, but even it had the dumb hip skirts, which there's a third party kit that there's actually multiple, but that like resolved that issue that shouldn't have been there. But you're not wrong that like the shape of his chest and stuff is wrong. Like they can't ever really get it right. So
yeah,
I gotta tell you, I really like the Earthrise one more. Like, this does not change enough for me or scratch enough of a different itch for me that I needed the other one so soon. It's not a bad figure. Like, and I get why it makes anybody's, top whatever list, but do you display your trucks from the back?
For those of you just listening, I was showing off the back view of the Earthrise Ironhide,
which is just feet hanging off.
Yes,
very obviously hollow feet hanging off.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the old one, like the new one, I really like the colors a lot better.
Yeah, the colors are really pretty.
More. Like the colors on The Earthrise one is just kind of muted.
Mm-hmm.
So
I haven't had a chance to put them side by side, so I do like the colors on the new guy a lot better now that I can see them.
The new one definitely looks better to me. I had the Earthrise one for a time.
I think I like the transformation, the engineering of the transformation better on the Earthrise. I felt like that the Studio Series was a little bit on the complicated side.
That's probably why it looks better.
Yeah.
See, that's what I just thought it was cool that they, even this being a Voyager, like where it's about the same size as the deluxe one, but the
is it really a deluxe?
Well,
because it was never released as a deluxe; it was released in a 2-pack.
And
well, even though Ratchet from Walgreens was an exclusive, so did that qualify as a deluxe or was it its own SKU?
Well,
things to drive you crazy.
Sure.
The hinges on the van mode are pretty unsightly. I'll give it that. Still better than
saying on the on the new one,
yeah, like on the sides there.
Yeah,
pretty gross, but still better than the Universe one or Classics.
Yeah,
whatever you call that old
Absolutely.
one.
I think they're both great figures. They both have pros and cons. It's hard to pick one for me, but I still lean a little Earthrise, although I do like the colors on the new guy and his guns.
Anna mentioned that we covered this Ironhide in a mini microcasters a couple weeks back, and that was because I was on the fence and wasn't sure if I really liked him. I did not include him in my top 5. I just got him within the last week from Paul. Thank you very much. I do think he is an upgrade from the Earthrise version, especially alt mode. Like this alt mode is spot on. What you want from an Ironhide, except for the fact that he's got like the other downside is the 2 pegs on the top that are also unsightly, and the hinges they're not great. So I mean, it's a really good toy. I think it is another example of the Studio Series 86 line giving us like pretty stupendous toys. It's not top 5 caliber, and then the proportions in the robot mode just don't quite sell me. It's something's quite a little bit off. So I don't know if that's just Ironhide having weird animation models and flexing, of how big his chest was compared to his shoulders and all that, or I don't know. It's hard to tell, but it just doesn't quite do it for me.
Pulling from 3 different animation studios, none of them could be consistent. So
no. And then when you're trying to do something like My Brain, it's like, no, it doesn't look right. Why? Like I don't know. It just doesn't.
No, I mean, I feel like it's really hard to get Ratchet and Ironhide right. And I don't know if anyone has given us the perfect version. Like, no matter what, like, I've had a lot of versions of Ratchet and Ironhide. And I don't know, I feel like every one that there's something I can nitpick with it.
I think it's what you get when the animation cheats that hard.
Yeah.
Like, it just makes up the robot mode completely.
He didn't have a head. They had to.
Maybe that was perfection, was the G1 toy. She just left it alone.
Well, and he does, like, he's got the same thing that Anna was complaining about with Star Saber, where he's got, like, the shoulders that just cannot function, in a universe that has laws of physics. Because he's got these block shoulders that somehow can allow him to cross his arms across his chest. Like, how? I don't know. And so, it's hard to translate that into an actual 3-dimensional figure.
All right, Phil, who's your number 3?
So I don't remember, Ron or someone pointed out that this dude was on the shelf behind me, and this is my only third-party or even MP scale toy on my list this year, because I personally didn't pick up that many. But Fans Toy Skull Cruncher is a beauty. This is that late 80s, color palette of that fuchsia pink, mesh with the dark green. There's something so satisfying about picking up a Fans Toy Transformer as well. It's just like, oh yeah, this is something that could be used as a murder weapon. It's just,
he looks hefty. So pretty.
Yeah, and then they did the metallic red for the eyes with that bright yellow for the face, and then the different bright green on the back of his head.
Oh.
Skull Cruncher was the only headmaster that I had as a kid. I had Skull Cruncher and Scorponok as a kid. So Skull Cruncher definitely has a nostalgia spot for me. He's just a fun toy and is very eye catching on the shelf. So for someone in the cast to see him sitting behind me, I think that also speaks to why I enjoy him so much. Is that it is something like you'll see across the room. He's got the sword tail thing. You can tell which part of that they accentuated in terms of which mode they wanted the cool looking sword versus a tail that looks better. But yeah, again, it just looks great.
Oh, see, I just assumed that was the robot mode sword tail, and that they would have a different articulated dealie for the alt mode. I'm surprised that it's just the one.
Yeah, and so that's where it's again
it has a little bit of a rock on it. It's not like it's completely unarticulated, but it's not like segmented or anything.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he is my favorite MP scale toy of the year, my favorite third party toy of the year, and just in general in my top 5. So
he's not in my top 5. But it's getting like 8 out of 10, right? Everything was good. My favorite thing about that is that it completes the trio of Decepticon headmasters. Well, that's not my favorite thing, but I mean, he's a solid toy. Like the transformation's good. It's not bad at all. But it is nice to kind of say, the team is complete.
It's nice to have someone completing headmasters, right?
I mean, that's only 3, and it took how many years to get those 3? Like, I don't remember when Weird Wolf came out. That was the first one.
And at this point, we should get a new Weird Wolf. Peter was saying it last week that we need an upgraded Weird Wolf now.
The Weird Wolf they put out has always looked unfinished. Like there's literally parts when you put it into cat mode that like you can see that this part is supposed to tab
wait,
but it doesn't reach.
Cat mode? Wow. His name is Weird Wolf, and you're saying he's got a cat mode?
Yeah.
That's the joke.
Deal with it. But like you can see that it's like the engineering gave up. Like it's obviously supposed to collapse and tab in, but it doesn't at all. Like there's nothing there to make it do it. And so it's always felt a bit incomplete. It's still nice though. It's still good. But
all right, Rob, who's your number 3?
My number 3 is again, everything was good. And this figure has its detractors online. But I really like it, so it's on here. It's my list. That's X-Transbot's Perceptor. The Fans Toys Tesla 1.0, no one ever really liked. That figure was weird. If you've handled that figure and you've handled other Fans Toys anything, the quality on that one was always like it was a different factory. The plastic was just weird. So I was very happy to get an upgrade for it. And my only real complaint about it is that the legs are shiny, whether they had been matte. But other than that, I don't know. I found the transformation pretty fun. And this figure
How else are they going to sell you an animation model repaint in a year?
X-Transbot loves their repaints, but they usually do they'll do the Magnificus repaint of this. Is more what they'll do typically, but we'll see. They usually don't do that where like make it a little wrong to make it a little better later. But there are exceptions to that though. But not only do I think the figure is good and fun and looks the part, all of X-Transbot's releases this year have had just loads of articulation, just everything you can think of. Like they can crunch and do everything.
That sounded like a real satisfying click joint. I like those.
It is. Again, this figure, if you search for it, you find some people had problems. I guess I got lucky. It has butterfly joints on the arms, and it's got an ab crunch in there. I'm pretty sure. I think it's a hard ab crunch, so I think you got to pop it out pretty good. But not only that, it has just a ton of accessories, which is part of the reason I enjoyed the release so much. So I can see here, I got him holding his beaker and test tube.
Science!
Yes, he's sciencing hard. And this is the dumbest thing, and this probably costs like 30 cents to include, right? But it comes with all the little minifigures from when they're shrunk. And these things are more detailed than you would like. This is all paint. Little mini Perceptor, it's all painted. And like they come with both modes, and you got a Bumblebee and a Brawn, and they're all just painted and they're.
I mean, that's pretty amazing that they painted them up.
It's
like
articulated.
That,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just little ball joints, but it has like, the micrometer level of articulation. Knees, hips, elbows, shoulders. So it's like Hasbro level articulation with more paint and a tiny figure. It doesn't transform. But
Billy was showing me his mini bots when he got his Perceptor. And it was super cool.
Yeah, they're really cute. They're fun, and I don't even have all the accessories out because there's too many of them. But it has like guns and blast effects, and it comes with a little display thing to snap them into to hold them when you're not using it, which was real thoughtful. And so yeah, the tank mode's dumb. Who cares?
It's dumb on the original.
Exactly. It's dumb on all of them. It doesn't hold in well on this guy, but I did not make myself care.
Yeah.
Or I could not make myself care any less. That care is 0. So, this was just fun accessory game on point. I like it. I'm sorry for those that had some trouble with theirs, but I really love this release. My number 3.
One of the things I am happy about that toy is I picked up Tesla 2.0, and I feel like with all the accessories that KFC put in with that, or X-Transbots, I'm sorry, put in with that Perceptor, it kind of forced fans' toys to up their game. And so we got a ton of new faces and heads with the fans' toys Tesla 2.0. And that's why I ended up picking them up for myself, because I love all those additional heads that he got. And so it's a cool thing when you got, a couple, third-party toy companies forcing each other to step up their game. You get better toys for it.
And also, this was like $100 less than Tesla 2.
Yeah.
Which is, Fans Toys has been upping their price indiscriminately, and over the past few years, they've actually cut back on engineering and accessories. Not that they've ever been huge on accessories, whereas XTB has went like super hard in articulation and accessories, which and their prices are generally more reasonable. So it's pushed Fans Toys prices down a little bit, and maybe start including more stuff. So, it's some healthy competition, which is nice. So, yeah, definitely been good.
You know what we say about that? In this economy?
Minifigures? In this economy?
Shout out to this economy.
Think you're up, Nick.
All right. My number 3, for everybody that calls me a G1er, is Cybertron Universe Override from Legacy, who I thought was surprisingly good. A vast upgrade over the original figure, and I like the original well enough for what it was at the time. But yeah, she's cool. I like her a lot.
I mean, none of your figures have been G1.
I know, right?
Maybe it's coming, but
no, actually, there's not a single G1 figure on my list this year. Huh.
I feel like that figure would be one of my mini honorable mentions. But yeah, this is a figure that I was like, man, like, am I gonna get this? Do I need this? I don't really have a lot of nostalgia for it, but I mean, it's such a good figure. Like, it's really
the transformation is really something on that one. It's super cool the way the transformation works.
I just like the deco of it. I mean, I don't know.
I just want my black and purple and teal repaint now, though. I forget what that was called, but bring that on. I'll take that.
Where do you think that figure would be ranked in Christian's list?
Oh, I don't know.
Because, he loves the trilogy, so.
Yeah. You got to imagine this was a good one for him.
But at the same time, though, if you have the original, like, are you happy with that, and you don't, like, you're not as impressed? Because the original toy was pretty good, right?
Yeah. This blows it out of the water. I definitely think this one by far blows the old one out of the water. The old one was good for the time, but is very limited in a lot of ways. The articulation, the legs on the original are kind of weird. Or maybe it was something. Something was weird on the original. But this one, is good. So, upgrade. Get the new one.
Well, that's what I think is interesting about all these lists too, is that, just looking overall at like everybody's list, is nobody has like a consensus like, oh, this is the number one, or that's the number, or
We
just
haven't gotten
whatever it may
number one
be,
yet,
like your
though.
top 5.
Yeah.
So
I think there was a lot of good stuff that appealed to, everybody's different tastes this year. And so I suppose it speaks to the longevity of the line that we don't come to a consensus.
I'm just glad I'm here to.
What Hasbro's putting out.
I'm glad I'm here to represent third party. So
there you go. Well, I mean, if Catherine was on too, I know some of those. What's that combiner?
Legends?
The Predicine combiner. Like all those figures have been pretty neat.
Oh yeah, the
whatever that thing is.
Kang toys.
Yeah, King Toys.
Yeah. Spiky and McSpike's King.
It's so crazy because it's just like it's its own style, and it's just out there, and it's not what I want out of Predaking, but it looks really cool. Like it's really pretty. It's a very well done toy.
Have you ever wanted to wear Optimus Primal as pants? Get King Toys, Predaking. Live your dream. I think that's something like that. It has monkey pants or something.
Yeah, he's got monkey crotch. Does that mean he has a baboon's ass?
All right. Well, I guess are we up to number 2 now? So number 2, I guess I will go on with mine. That I think you guys are wrong. This is my. Now, granted, mine doesn't have a lot of QC issues. I know other people do, but I've owned a couple different Star Sabers. I think I sold one to Rob potentially. Or did I sell
Planet
mine?
X?
Yeah, the Planet X one. The QC, I just wasn't big on that one. Like this is, I just really love the deco. Like the Masterpiece one didn't necessarily do it for me. And again, maybe it was just something where, I mean, that came out, was that 2016?
It was
15?
early in Masterpiece. It was like after they kind of started doing the cartoon aesthetic. Like they hadn't fully gone deep in, but they were already heading that way, after they kind of relaunched at the new size. Yeah, it was in that era that it came out. And from what I could tell, it didn't sell well which I was kind of surprised, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then half the time now, it's hard. Like you probably get a knockoff, because the knockoff, the Masterpiece is relatively close.
I don't think that one was knocked off. Like a lot of the Garbots and stuff.
I don't remember seeing a knockoff for that one.
Knocked off.
It was?
Uh-huh. Yeah. I swear to you, he was knocked off. There was.
You're gonna have to present some evidence for that later.
I'm gonna have to send you some threads or whatever of not just Google knockoff Star Saber. Like
that one it's clearance. Like you can buy it. It has never been expensive on the aftermarket. Type of thing. Well, I'm just saying it's a weird one to knock off. Usually they knock off stuff that
is hot and sells out or whatever.
Either sells out or has QC issues or they make an improvement to, like that type of stuff. So that's interesting. But anyway,
so this one, I don't know. I mean, obviously you're paying the tax for the HasLab and whatever, but it was a really fun product for me. I think overall that I enjoyed the QC. Like I felt like this was really solid. The only thing, and I 100% agree with Anna, and honestly I wish she hadn't even pointed it out about the shoulders. So these shoulders don't
ruined forever.
They don't.
You know what that reminds me of?
What's that?
Cybertron Wing Saber, which is an homage to that figure that also does the same thing with those weird shoulders like that.
Yeah.
Like they just hinge out at the sides or something like that.
Yeah, so you can get it going forwards, but it doesn't.
So it has a butterfly.
It has a butterfly, yes. It has a butterfly. It has a little bit of an ab crunch. Like it has all the other articulation you want, except for this shoulder. The only articulation is right here. It doesn't this shoulder doesn't go up and down. So
that's weird.
But otherwise, I think it's painted really well. It's just a really cool, figure. And I guess I enjoy Star Saber a little bit more just because of the IDW comics. Even though he's a bad guy in there. But I don't know. Like, I just thought this was really cool. And again, considering I don't have the Masterpiece, and the Planet X one was not quite, I don't know. Like, it was good. Like, I didn't like the face sculpt as much on the Planet
Face
X
sculpt's
one.
bad on that one.
And
it's
the leg QC was like a little bit loose. I don't know. This kind of just hit the spot for me. I just thought it was really neat. So.
The only reason that Star Saber didn't hit my top 5 is because it's a HasLab, and I will never put a HasLab thing on a top 5 list. I think it's, dirty pool, and I don't like to encourage that behavior. So
overpriced. I feel. Yeah.
It's a perfectly nice figure, and I'm glad to own it, and I'm excited for Deathsaurus, but I couldn't put it on my top 5. That said, the one thing I wish they would have done was learn how to package a goddamn $300 figure or whatever it was. You buy any high-end Bandai toy, any of the Figuarts, any of the Sola Chogokin, and they come in a plastic clamshell like the Masterpiece figures do. Why would they not do this with this? We're reducing plastic. It's like, you're not selling this to someone who's recycling the packaging.
That's why.
Well,
right
and
here.
even if they just left it in the packaging that they did have, but that they put like a plastic wrap like over the chrome, like mine seems like it's okay. But
yeah, I got a couple little scuffs on my chrome, but then you hear about people who lost their sword in transit because it's not strapped in. It just popped out of the tray, and it's like, it's too expensive to goof around with, guys.
Like, I passed on it because I have the G1, which are great, and I have the Masterpiece, and the KFC did Saber or Leo. Yeah. So like, I have the set in Masterpiece. So like, I just didn't need it for my taste, but that's what kind of like my other like kind of like nebulous complaint about HasLab is that it's just bigger mainline features. They charge the collector price, but they don't give it that touch. They don't give it that special bit, which is, I think, sad. Like, it doesn't add a lot to the cost of the figures, for that. To, like I said, give it some better packaging. You shouldn't worry about a sword falling out for something at least that was packaged correctly, right? But like when the base packaging is so bad.
But I mean, I would still say the packaging overall was cool. Like, if they could have secured it, like, I mean, the wrap that they did around it and just the way when you open it up and everything is just some of those types of things that I'm sure when they're on their like 20th HasLab, they'll potentially do some of that stuff. But like,
this was all solved by the Masterpiece line. That's all they had to do was just put it in a Masterpiece box.
It's a stretch goal, man. Stretch goal, proper packaging. At 18,000 supporters for this small indie company, Hasbro.
Right.
We need your backers.
Nick, I know where you're coming from. Huh? I know where you're coming from on the sentiment around HasLab.
Yeah.
Marvel Legends HasLab Galactus was on my top 10 list this year for toys.
I can't even argue it because they do such a nicer job on the Marvel Legends HasLabs.
Yeah. That thing is just a giant, massive thing of beauty. And it does feel premium with the articulation and the box and all the, add-ons that it comes with for the stretch goals. Like, that's a phenomenal toy. So yeah, I do feel that the Transformers, I don't know, we don't get as nice, but the price point, at least for Star Saber and Deathsaurus, is less than what Marvel Legends has been. So
yeah, well, and there's still that stupid bastard behind me.
Yeah,
that started the whole thing.
Flapjack backstack.
I was at my in-laws are in Ohio, and there's a toy store there called the Toy Department. I think Ron is from Ohio. I know one of our regular viewers is from there. Maybe it's Randall. But I was at the Toy Department, and they have a Unicron there, and it was like $1,900 is the price tag they had on it. If you're in Ohio, you got to go to the Toy Department. That's an awesome toy store. But
why at this point? Why would you spend close to $2,000 on a HasLab Unicron when Cell exists?
Because you want the big one.
Yeah, you want the big one. You want the official one.
Some people don't fuck with third party either. I think that's fine.
Some people don't even know if third party exists.
Yeah.
They think it's.
I would hope if you're spending $2,000 on a Unicron, though, you have some idea of what the market is.
Yeah, I would hope. Yeah, also that.
Some people just got money and they walk in and they're like, "Oh, there's that thing. I'm going to buy it." That's the way a lot of those stores operate. Yeah, and it is Ron. Yeah.
So, but I mean, I will say I did bring up about the HasLab stuff. If Takara had done it for a similar price point, I mean, they've had issues with theirs, like with the Powermaster, Optimus Prime, and God Bomber set. Like that was probably, I think it was more than the Star Saber, and it just, and Victory Saber, whatever, and it, like the QC on that
what a
was
dud,
hot garbage. And even the Seacons, like I just, didn't like.
I thought the regular Seacons were overpriced. I thought that the God Neptune set was great. I had no complaints about the God Neptune set.
I like both of the sets for what they are, but I accept what they are. I wanted the characters.
Yeah, but Lucas, my thought with both those is that you're talking about either remolds of existing toys that they had to they didn't start from scratch, or they basically had to take an existing toy and make like armor that went around it somehow. So that was, they were starting sort of 100 yards before the start line to begin with. I don't begrudge them for that, but I can see your point.
I mean, at this point with Desaurus and stuff, I'm over here in 3P land. Like, those are 3P prices, but not 3P toys.
It's a fair argument. Yeah, but with 3P, did you get voted?
Ship the Deathsaurus in a package that'll protect it. That's all I want.
I hope
you don't have to make the toy any different than what you're already doing.
Just let it get here safely.
Yeah. Let it show up without scuffed chrome. Better yet, leave off the chrome because I don't need it.
But the G1 has chrome.
I don't care.
And the MP has chrome.
I'm so over things that are going to break down over time. I want my toys to last now.
Yeah, huh? You're over humans then.
I mean, you're not wrong.
We do kind of suck.
So.
Sure.
Hey, what have we done for this world? Slavery, Limp Bizkit,
Nickelback, Donald Trump,
the White Stripes.
Oh, what?
They're in an episode of Simpsons. Nick, you're not allowed to be mad at them.
Donald Trump's in an episode of The Simpsons. What's your point?
I didn't know that. I wish I didn't know that.
All right, Phil, what's your number 2?
Number 2, Studio Series.
God, he almost made my list.
Oh,
it was so hard to leave him off my list.
I love this toy. He's just like, this was the first Dinobot I ever had. So I've definitely got the nostalgia, the itch for him. But he's just such a fat. I struggle if I should call him an Apatosaurus or Brontosaurus, because the toy is supposed to be
goddamn Brontosaurus.
He's sludge. He's a Sludgosaurus.
Oh, dude, this toy is great. He's so much fun. Yeah, I know there's some issues with like the feet down here and the big old cavity in his chest, but it's just like that.
Do you display your dinosaurs upside down?
Sometimes. But this head, just with that gold that they used and the bright blue eye, and with the articulation where you can turn his head and open the mouth and extend the neck, it just, this is a great toy.
Only way he could have been any better is if he'd have come with an alternate googly eye head for that one scene.
Oh, absolutely. If he came with,
if you're doing a studio series,
yeah,
I'm assuming DNA has an upgrade kit with that, right?
Yeah, just devastated. Just.
I feel like
my eyes popped out.
I left Sludge off of my list simply because, like, I feel like he's the third best Dinobot of like the ones they've released so far. But
I think he beats out Slag.
You think so?
Yeah, I think he does.
I say he beats out Slag and Grimlock, in my opinion.
Okay.
I didn't go that far.
Grimlock is king.
Grimlock comes with a crappy wheelie. Again, it's the crappy broccoli that taints the figure.
Throw the wheelie
ruined
away.
forever.
I've gotten so many Grimlocks. Grimlock, it takes a lot for a Grimlock to impress me.
Yeah. I mean, that is true, I guess. Like the sludge, like there's not as many sludges, at least, that are official. You know, obviously every third party has done a Dinobot, but
yeah.
And even for Grimlock, you've got Masterpiece Grimlock, which is a better toy anyway.
Right.
So I sort of get it.
Yeah. This is the best Hasbro Takara sludge toy we've received.
I'm surprised we haven't gotten another round of Masterpiece Dinobots, because the best set we have really is the Fans Toys one, although there's also Gigapower. But like they're toy based, you know, they're shiny and over detailed or whatever, gribbly. We don't have any based off the cartoon stuff. The Studio Series is the closest you get to that.
Yeah.
Fans Toys has made a comment about it a while back. They're just like, no, we're done with Dinobots. We're not, you know. I'm also the never say never, you know, never until it is. I'm waiting for that one day. Maybe Takara will start it off. They'll do an updated Grimlock.
Maybe.
I mean, from Fans Toys perspective, why would Fans Toys need to re-engineer and redo those when they can just reissue the existing ones and just print themselves more money?
I mean, why did they make a new Soundwave? You know, I mean, it's because the original one's great. You know, so it's what you do.
But did they have a Soundwave to begin with? They made a new a new.
They didn't have their own. Yeah,
right,
they didn't have their own.
So they were like, so that's what I'm saying is they made their own because they have their legions of you know, Fans Toys fanboys that will buy anything they make. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy Fans Toys, you know, tremendously. You know, I will say another disappointing toy for me this year was their Outback was not as great as I wanted it to be.
But it was fine.
It was fine. It was fine. Yeah. Not nearly as good as Brawn, and especially being the same kind of.
I was happy to replace the Bad Cube one.
Yeah,
that figures was placeholder from the day I bought it, and I knew it. So
yeah, but Fans Toys already has their Dinobots, so again, why should they spend the money on engineering when they can just reissue what they already have, and people have shown to buy them in droves?
Because the times have changed, but we'll see. All right, time for my number 2.
Yep.
I went with Transart Transmetal Rat Trap, and right now he's in, you know, rocket powered rat mode.
Rat Patrol.
Yeah, because I had Dinobot riding him, and that's how I have him pose because it's really fun at the moment. Like the worst thing about this is it comes with a little adapter piece, and that's supposed to plug into Dinobot's butt, but it doesn't. It's the peg is just the wrong size. I don't know how you make an accessory for literally one function and you goof it, but it does just add enough back stability that you can get him on there and he sits fine.
Can you demonstrate for us how you peg Dinobot with Rat Trap?
That's after hours. But, you know, like all of Transart stuff, like the transformation is pretty simple, but you know, it's a little updated from the old. You know, but like it even has a pretty clean belly.
Oh, look at that!
Done, you know, he looks great in robot mode. We were talking about nice head sculpts, and like the head sculpt on this is wonderful. I'm sorry, it's like in the middle of his guts at the moment. But you know, besides, you're not gonna see crap on my webcam anyways. You can see much better by googling it. He just has a wonderful. It's Rat Trap. You know, he's got like a smirk or something.
Yeah, I got to mess with this one at Billy's the other day, and it is fucking killer. And I'm sad that I'm not doing these.
Yeah, but you know, he comes with accessories. I love the fact they made the flames for his little jetpack crap.
God.
You know, he's good in every mode. He has a little articulated mouth with a little tongue in there.
Oh, look at that.
He has ears you can wobble back and forth. He's totes adorbs. I continue to love the transmetal stuff that Transart does, and I'll just continue to buy it all. Although Black Arachnia looks a little disappointing. It's a shell former. They didn't even try to make it a transformer. That's the only thing. You literally just pull the back off, and then you fold out her legs, and it's done. That's it.
As long as she looks right, I think I'm okay with that.
Her whole bulbous crap disappears in robot mode, you know. But I've also seen what Metagate is doing with their Pterosaur, and they did a season 1 Pterosaur that doesn't parts form. It's really, I think it's. I watched a video of it. It's coming out soon. Like I thought it was pretty impressive. I liked it, but it just shows like they probably could have done at least a less parts forming, right? Or at least a little more. It's literally just yank it off. We can't figure it out. But Transart also is like their stuff is always priced a lot better. And again, you can tell by the quality of the plastic. I'm not gonna knock it, but I have like 7 of their things or whatever, and I'll continue to buy it because they look really good. The transformations are good. They put in the accessories you'd want and the details you'd want. He actually has 2 different tails. I've got the articulated one on right now. It's got a wire in the middle of it, and there's one that's just like a straight line that he can use as a weapon. But no, it's.
I just hope that the vac metal holds up on these figures.
I don't give a shit. I mean, like I want them to, but man, fucking, it'll be what it'll be. Like it'd be nice if they last at least a few years. Time will tell. Literally.
Remember, at the first sign of any crackle, put some that pledge floor polish on there, and it'll keep it nice.
So. Christian was talking at TFCon. He had his Shocker Rat there. We both had our Shocker Rats there selling them.
Mm-hmm.
Actually sold mine, but he did that to his, and he was saying it was still flanking.
Damn it!
I believe that's what he said.
Oh no.
Yeah, but
damn it.
Progress of time. Just take it out.
Meanwhile, my Shocker Act is still Schrodinger's Shocker Act. I never opened them, so I don't know.
You hope it's in there, not just some rocks. I'll tell you, man, getting him back into his plastic tray was a nightmare. Like I had to look at like old YouTube reviews of it or like images of it, of people opening it. So I'm trying to figure out how to organize it all. But anyways, if you love Beast Wars and you want toys with character that are fun and Masterpiece Reason Price, Transart, everything they do is good. Other than their Optimal Optimus, which is way too small. It's still a big toy though, but it's not scaled. I don't blame them for not making it twice as big. But that figure, you look at the scale chart, Optimal Optimus is stupidly huge. He's way too large. He's just insanely large.
Yeah.
So I get why they did it, but anyways, yeah, that's my number 2.
Nice.
Rat butt.
My number 2. Is this where we are? My number 2. Phil has already given away. Is Shattered Glass Soundwave.
Wait, we've lost Phil.
Oh no, we lost Phil.
What?
Is his video frozen to anybody else?
I can see Phil.
Yeah, his video is frozen on the show, but
yeah,
it's okay.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel
looks
like
very
we've been
uninteresting.
having some intermittent freezing just in general with everybody. I don't know if it's my connection or what, but
okay.
But yeah, number 2 for me was Shattered Glass Soundwave. I would have put everything Shattered Glass on this list, is the honest to God truth, because I am a sucker for Shattered Glass. Except for, Flame War isn't a Shattered Glass toy. Why is she released under the Shattered Glass label? Anyway.
I did love, I think I actually saw that Ben, whatever, Ben's World of Transformers, Ben, actually put Flame War as his number 1 figure.
Yeah. That's not surprising. I mean, if honest to God, if I had a hand in making a character like that and it got released at like mainline retail or even, mainline exclusive retail, I would be all about it too. That's a huge fucking thing, especially as a fan. So I'm not going to begrudge him that. But yeah, Shattered Glass Soundwave. First of all, I love that mold. I think that Soundwave mold is fantastic. Second of all, it's Shattered Glass. Third of all, he's got the right head sculpt. Yes, he comes with a really crappy Ravage. But that wasn't enough for me to hate it. So, Shattered Glass Soundwave. It's everything I wanted it to be. It wasn't the stupid spaceship design, right? So.
But Walmart owns the tape deck mode.
You know what's funny is so I've seen that spaceship mode, like the updated version, on my shelf in my local Walmart, and I'm almost been tempted to pick it up for God, I don't know why. It's just, it's like, oh, I don't have this yet. Like there's a new Transformer to buy.
Did you buy Sound Blaster?
Yeah, I have Sound Blaster.
Then yeah, you don't need that.
Right. No, I don't need it at all. That's the reason why I have not bought it yet. But maybe I need an Armada Starscream to show up, so that way I at least have something decent to tempt me.
Oh, Catherine mentioned that her number 2 was Monkey Pants.
There you go, Monkey Pants. Whatever that. What's the actual name of the figure? Did she
Kang Toys Thorilla.
Kang Toys Thorilla. So there you go.
With his big old hammer.
What's your number 1, Lucas?
Number 1. So my number 1 is probably not going to be anyone else's number 1, so which isn't necessarily a bad thing, I suppose. But like I just really enjoyed the figure overall, and I've enjoyed all of the commander class figures that have come out. And so my number 1 is the Minosaur. I just like the Combiner Wars one was such a piece of crap.
So terrible.
And the fact that this is so much fun. I just feel like putting it in the different modes, and I'm gonna be excited to actually complete him all the way. But like overall, just kind of transforming him, from Motormaster to Minosaur. And with the truck and all that, like third parties released 1 million of these, and of course we have the Combiner Wars, and I feel like that the Motormaster
They released 3, by the way.
What?
They've released 3. Yeah.
Okay.
And Fans Toys hasn't finished theirs, and it's
Fans Toys hasn't finished theirs, but they did release Motormaster at least.
Yes.
And then you have Fans Project,
XTB and DX9. Oh, I forgot about the Fans Project one. That's old, yeah. I think it's I fucking hate that thing. So bad.
Right, exactly. The engineering
it
was
looks,
a nightmare.
The aesthetics were good, but man, do not touch that thing.
Right. Exactly. So that was kind of my point. And the Combiner Wars one, I mean, they really needed to make an upgrade to him. And so like this is just, a really cool figure. So I'm going to be excited to finish him off.
I feel like the Combiner Wars one gets a lot of hate for some reason.
It's terrible.
Because it sucks?
But it did what it needed to do. All the limbs are interchangeable, and like, the head
problem is
sucked, and he could have used a different head sculpt, but like,
the breakdown
they're
mold
fun, and they're easy to transform, and like, why is any of that bad?
The breakdown mold in that one was pretty bad. If I remember right, this one had the really bad like waist leg area. But I think the real problem there was what they used as Motormaster is like the weakest link of the Combiner Wars one.
Right. Yeah, the limbs were okay. But yeah, the main bot was just not good. The only thing that I would say about this that I don't love, like I wish that there's a way that you could like turn the legs around so that you could have, like if you wanted to choose to display the cars on the front of the legs instead of the back, and then like the way the feet are now, this is fantastic for stability, and when you have the silhouette on here, it's not going to matter that you've got these honking things on the back, but nevertheless, like I still think it's a ton of fun. Like this is kind of like peak Hasbro for me, that if they can release these kind of fun well engineered figures.
I really enjoyed the Motormaster mode on him. I haven't messed with the Combiner mode yet because I got to be honest. I mean, I'm a little turned off by the car's split in half and everything just sort of plugs into a skeleton, and it's like, and maybe when I do it, I'll feel different about it. But I was really impressed with the basic Motormaster mode. He's a very cool toy. For whatever.
Lucas, you had a poor assumption, because my number 1 toy for the year is also Hasbro Commander Class Motormaster / the skeleton for Minosaur.
I'm gonna hold mine up since you've been frozen for the last 15 minutes, and we can't actually see anything. But
yeah, so Lucas and Nick, can you guys at least see my screen?
Oh, I can see you.
I can't see you. Right. You're dark on mine.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. I like him a lot. I've got the 3-car limbs attached to him. The 3-car shirt sleeves Pant legs attached to him.
Shoulder armor.
I
Shin guards.
I'm amazed at how great this toy is
Yeah.
in all of its 3 modes. It is a great semi-truck.
Yeah.
It is a fantastic Motor Master toy.
Sure.
You get a little base mode, rinky dinky. And the main body component for Menasor is outstanding. So, all around, this toy scratches so many itches. And I kind of had forgotten about him. At first, he wasn't on my list, only because, he came out, kind of midway through the year, and I was having some recency bias with some other toys. And then I saw him sitting on my pile, oh, yeah, no, Menasor Motor Master is phenomenal. So the only complaint I really have is his gun. His gun is stupid.
Yeah.
It's definitely an afterthought kind of thing. Whatever. You don't have to display him with his gun. You can just have him with this big old, I also do wish this sword. I do wish this sword was longer.
Yeah.
That's a pretty
small,
stubby.
right? Yeah.
He's got a chode instead of a big sword.
Yeah. I've had turds bigger than that. But
My ex-trans boss sword is huge. But its trailer is terrible.
Yeah. Third party in general is notorious for giant combiner weapons.
Yeah, they don't care.
No,
it doesn't have to fit on a shelf anywhere. They don't care about the size. The price is going to be whatever it is. They're going to do it.
Yeah. But yeah, this toy just I thought was outstanding from top to bottom.
I'll tell you, if Render Form did a new sword for him, I'd buy it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And gun.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure someone will at some point, if they haven't already. I don't know. I haven't really been paying that much attention to the upgrade kits, but
he's the only G1 combiner I don't have. Did the original G1 come with a gun? Or was it just a sword?
It was Motor Master's gun, if I remember right.
Okay. I remember he had the sword. I just don't remember the gun. So yeah. Zaldron's saying that sword is for Black Convoy. I don't know. I mean, it looks like the Motor Master sword. It's just
not chrome.
Yeah. Right.
Was it chrome or purple? I can't remember.
I thought it was.
Now I got to go look because my brain's going to make me look.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently there was an upgrade kit in TF Safari, so there you go.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
I like him a lot. I'll be very excited to have him fully, finished some point in probably first quarter 2023.
Yeah, it was chrome originally.
My only complaint is that it makes me want to get all these combiners upgraded like this, but at the same time I don't want to spend the money to replace every combiner. And I'm sure, Rob, you always have this issue at the masterpiece level where
I've accepted it. I bought 30 figures this year. I don't mind, and a good number of those were upgrades. I don't mind doing it anymore. It's part of the hobby. I've accepted
that's
it.
True. That is true. So yeah, so what you're saying is if I cut out buying some of this Hasbro stuff, then only did 30 figures, I wouldn't feel as bad about.
I probably spent less than everyone here this year on Transformers, and
can you even call yourself a fan anymore?
Why do we still let you on the show?
Right?
Oh.
Right. My number one.
There you go.
So my number negative infinity was MMC's Steeljaw, but my number one is their First Aid. It's just
pretty.
It's a stellar solid release, and as I mentioned, everything I bought was an 8 out of 10. Right? It was all good. Making a top 5 was kind of tough, because I was all of these are good. I would be happy with any of those in my top 5, to be real. But this is the figure that has the least amount of but. The other ones, they have some little things I can nitpick. It's really hard to nitpick this one. The transformation's really fun, as MMC typically is, other than Steeljaw. Their Bruticus, all those toys are really fun individually as well. But this guy's he's really fun. He's got fun engineering. The head sculpt is money, and it's I don't know. There's nothing bad about it to me other than But I knew this going into it, that because it's the same way with the Bruticus, like they're not painted a ton. It's just like their Bruticus. So if X-Transbots is working on rescue bot or protective bots as well, and theirs are all painted or whatever, but they're also a lot less fun. At least the ones that have come out so far. The Groove's not bad, but Streetwise is pretty miserable. Both of those came out this year, and they're on my list. But Streetwise First Aid is awesome. The word of Streetwise is really good too, and part of it is just this figure is really solid. Highly recommend it, but it also makes me excited for the rest of the protective bots. It's like, oh, there's going to be another good combiner set coming, down the pipe. So I'm really looking forward to it. Again, it has the all-in-one engineering, which worked for Bruticus, I felt, and so it's cool that they pulled it off and still managed to have a toy that was fun. So, but yeah, that was my number one, MMC's Redemption. Who honestly, I feel like MMC's really winding down as well, and so here's to hoping they go out on some high notes. Like their DZF, they're not Deathsaurus, and it had a couple of interchangeable parts to make different versions. Just came out, and a lot of people really liked it. I passed on it, but that may be like the last reformatted figure. Like, I don't know if we've had anything else announced, and this is currently what they're doing in their Ocular Max, aka not Masterpiece line. So I don't know what they have next. Hopefully they have stuff and I'm just ignorant of it. But
I was gonna say, well, they've they re-released a new Optimus Plexus, whatever the heck you call that.
Yeah.
The Optimus Prime. It's like the Stormbringer, right? Optimus Prime, I think. So they just released that. Of course, I mean, obviously that's a repaint. For the most part. So
what do I got to do to get the battle damaged head for that again? What hoop did I have to jump through that I didn't jump through? Because that was all I really goddamn wanted.
Did they do a blue battle damage head? I don't think so.
I don't even know.
Like, do you mean for the Nemesis version or what?
No, for the first release, the Optus Pexus, whatever the fuck they call it.
I didn't know they had a battle damage one.
Yeah, they didn't. To my knowledge.
Sculpted one. I didn't, and I thought it was released with one of the other releases because fuck me. I don't know.
I think they just released that as like for their Nemesis Prime.
Oh, really?
I don't think they did it in the blue and silver for
all I want.
G1 version.
And for what it's worth, I'm on their page. I forgot they have their double dealer coming out.
Yeah.
And that's competing with the Fans Hobby double dealer. But it's like a repaint of their Deserus repaint. Yeah. Remold type stuff, but everything else is I got that in the Predictor bots, and everything else is just some recolors. So,
but I mean, I would say though, I don't know, the reformatted line, like, how much more is like, are they going to want to release for IDW doesn't have the license anymore. So why, like,
they're not making new G1 episodes. Why should they make any G1 homage toys?
Right.
He's got you there, Dad.
But at the same time, though, G1, the fan base for G1 is much larger than, some of the reformatted stuff. Like, I think that there's definitely a fan base. I just think it's
there's a passionate IDW fan base,
and they're generally younger with disposable income, whereas a lot of us are getting older with families now. So.
But at the same time, like, from what I understand, Rung and Chrome Dome didn't sell well. So, like, I think some of the hype has died out on that for them.
I didn't even know the Chrome Dome came out, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I love
it's
it.
been a while. But, like...
And the Rung was an exclusive.
No, they released it as general, like, it was...
Did they?
It had an early release at TFCon or something like that.
Yeah.
But you could get it online anywhere.
Oh, you know what?
I thought if you were going to get it online, you had to get it online overseas only, or some stupid thing like that.
Maybe they only sold it from Planet Still Express, which is their outlet, but that's where I buy all my MMC stuff anyways.
Yeah. They re-released the whatever they have, the female Tarn, whatever you call her, and I think they're going to do a couple like repaints, remolds of that.
Rule 63 Tarn.
Yeah. So like, so they are still releasing stuff, but I would agree that their pace of operation is not what it used to be.
I feel like they're just one step behind Make Toys, which is pretty much fallen off. Like, yet they had a bunch of seekers at TFCon this year. Make Toys did, like all their rainmakers and stuff were all there, and you could buy them out, which I was out of nowhere. But they're not doing anything new and haven't in a while. And I kind of feel like in the season.
I honestly don't even know who owns that mold. Like, it's Make Toys, but is it really like? I mean, I don't know. I feel like they're like running it just to be like, all right, let's make some money before we close up shop here.
Maybe.
So,
yeah.
Anyway,
Rob, I've got that toy. I got it for Christmas.
Which toy?
I was really looking forward to First Aid. I enjoy him. I have a little bit of gripes with the legs, the lower leg just being the back half of the ambulance.
It doesn't try to hide away.
No, it doesn't. And I think your critique about his lack of paint, I felt a bit jarring. But overall, I like it. I'm excited to get all the Protectabots. Duran was talking earlier in the cast chat about how much he's enjoying Streetwise. The Protectabots are one of my favorite Scramble City teams. They're all kind of unique, and it seems like they're really playing up some of that characterization and uniqueness. First Aid has got just a great head. He's probably my favorite head of any Scramble City toy. I mean, I know that feels like very niche to say that, but there's a certain aesthetic that you had with the Scramble City toys, because they were both heads and combiner plugs, and so you got a very similar aesthetic throughout all of them. And the First Aid very much broke that mold of how he looks, and he's even amongst other Transformers, he's pretty unique in his appearance and his face. And MMC, I think, captured that very, very well. I just think he's got cankles.
Yeah, he lacks on articulation compared to most Masterpiece. But it's not bad. He has an ab crunch and stuff too. It has a really nice ratchet, But yeah, it's definitely just, hey, here's the rest.
No, First Aid, not ratchet.
Sorry, did I say ratchet?
Did I say ratchet?
You said it has a nice ratchet. I was just.
Got it. Yeah.
Nick was being a dick.
What is your number one, Nick?
My number one is Inferno, Legacy Inferno, because he has the mouth that opens. That's it. That's the whole thing right there. He can scream fire, and I'm just okay. This toy is perfect. It's everything I've ever wanted.
Inferno didn't come out this year. What are you talking about? Where did I put my Inferno at?
I'm assuming you're in the same company as Anna, because she loves that toy.
Yeah, I haven't even transformed mine yet. I'm just so in love with this figure.
I've been augmenting my Masterpiece Beast Wars shelf with I've always put whatever came out in Generations. Generations Rat Trap is on there, because we don't have a Masterpiece figure yet.
Yeah.
But I didn't buy Inferno. He looks great for a Hasbro figure, but he's a little small, I think, for the Masterpiece scale, which is fair. It's not a Masterpiece line, so it was a little larger. But there is a company that is upscaling all the recent Beast Wars stuff to literally fit in with Masterpiece. It's just the Hasbro toys made a little larger, to help fill those gaps. I know they've done Rhinox, and he has huge guns now too. Yeah, I found that interesting.
My one complaint about Inferno is that his gun is wrong. That's my complaint.
What's wrong with it?
It's not the TV show gun. I want the TV show gun. So he's otherwise perfect. He's so maniacal looking. It's everything I wanted it to be, and he poses well. He's tall enough for what I want him for, so makes me happy. The paint is nice too.
Get his legs transformed properly into his ant mode, so that's been bothering me.
Well, I'll have to mess with that. Like I said, I've only been fiddling with him with robot mode. I wasn't done yet.
Yeah.
I just got him, a couple weeks ago or whatever. So,
man, pre-Christmas, new toys. All right.
Yeah.
Get to these later.
The second I opened him, I was like, wow, this is great. The only way this could be any better is if the mouth opened. And then I went, oh, it does. Oh, it does.
And Zaldron is saying it looks like that he also there's an upgrade kit to transfer.
Yeah, I debated about putting Inferno on my list as well. But I have no nostalgia for the character, and
These people.
it's an incredibly well done figure,
Yeah.
though, and so it's like I can appreciate that. There's a lot of paint on him. He just looks really, really cool. So yeah.
Have you watched Beast Wars, Lucas?
Bits and pieces of it. I have not like. I have
I mean, for
watched
what
it
it's
with
worth,
my
he's like
kid, but yeah,
he's not a deep character. He's very much a catchphrase, cliche character, but it's a lot of fun. You know, he's you can't help but chuckle about it anyway. So
he's comedic. He's comedic relief.
He's one note, but it's a fun goddamn note.
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoy all the textures that the toy has.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even amongst the different segments of the ant, there are kind of different textures to what he has. So that's not something you normally get to say with a Transformers toy, because it's like, what's the texture? Smooth metal. You know, but this guy does have quite a few different textures available, you know, on him, and that's fun to see.
Yeah, they did a great job of recreating the blender butt versus the regular.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, like going to talking about that with like the textures, like on one side of like the butt panels is that carapace, like crunchy, you know, texturized feel, and then you flip it over and it's like it is that shiny metallic, you know, smoothness. So yeah, even in one part you're getting, you know, multiple textures, and that's pretty fun. And then he's also got the mandibles that open and close, and the antenna that can move up and down. So you can have a very emotive ant face.
Yeah. He's very cool.
So I feel like in general that Hasbro's done a pretty good job at the Voyager scale with a lot of the toys. It's like the Edgy Axis was on the list tonight as well. So
yeah, what percentage of my list was Voyager class this year?
Right.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3.
I mean, Deluxe got some love with Cosmos tonight as well.
Yeah, all 5 of my figures were Voyagers. Go figure.
Yeah. So, but yeah, well, I'm surprised like Anna didn't tell us her number one figure. She was like talking in the chat earlier, but Catherine gave us her number one, which is the King Toys King Lion.
She really likes that set.
Mm-hmm.
No, I guess now's the time to sound off in the chat. Tell us your number one figure of the year.
Mm-hmm. Also, like and subscribe. And have your parents and siblings and your friends like and subscribe. Or else.
Hit that notification bell or whatever it is.
Mash that like and subscribe button.
Destroy the sub button.
So Jay Hollis said his number one earlier in the chat was Transmetals 2 Megatron. So
I just opened him like 2 days ago, and I don't know that he's enough of an improvement over the original for me. I'm not sure yet. There's something weird about his proportions. Like, I like the articulation. I like there's a lot that I like about it, the wings and all of that, and the lack of an action feature is a vast improvement over, you know, just how frustrating the original wing mechanism could get sometimes. But something's weird about his proportions on the new one, and I'm not totally in love with it just yet.
I've messed around with one of my friends, you know, but besides that, doesn't have anything to do with toys. You know, the Transmetal 2 Megatron one of my friends had, and I got to play around with it, and the face is just so meh. And the wings to me look like they're made out of melted Starburst.
I don't know that that's a bad thing, though.
I don't know. To me, it's like, is that candy? Can I chew on that? No, that's a chip.
Look, if more of my toys look like candy, I would not be upset.
But they don't taste like candy. It's just a dirty tease.
They don't need the gritty realism on everything, you know?
It's definitely your number 2 toy of the year if you ate your toy. Ron said,
Ron agrees. His is Inferno as well.
Wow. And Sean,
and Zaldrin.
Favorite third party.
Yeah.
We got some other folks voicing their lists as well. And Ron also saying how great Velocitron was. Like that is a phenomenal line. That's my favorite exclusive line this year, or sub line is Velocitron. Even the repaints we got out of that, I was playing around with Scourge last night, and like, oh yeah, you're pretty. You're not exactly the exact paint job, but dang, you're pretty. And Hauler is fun.
Hauler's great.
Yeah.
You know what it is? It was too simple of a repaint. There's not enough going on there for me to put it on a top 5 list, but I love it. I love that figure. I was excited that we got it, and I'm not running it down. It was exactly what it needed to be, but there was just more interesting stuff happening elsewhere.
Yeah. I would say, the runner up for great, repaint line / exclusive line probably would be Shattered Glass for me, because that is, those are very, very fun. I love Blaster. We got this year. The Ultra Magnus is fantastic. We're getting alternate heads. So we've had some cool advancements in Transformers this year.
I know it's late. Do we need to wrap it up, or did we want to talk briefly about what we're looking forward to in 2023?
Oh, I was going to add that Anna said that she was debating for her top figure between the BAWE Striker. What is that?
Bumblebee, AWE Striker, the G.I. Joe crossover figure.
Oh, okay. There we go. Sorry. Yeah. All right. Fair enough. So the Bumblebee.
That is totally. I'm Anna, and I'm going to pick this because I know everyone hates this, and that makes me love it more.
She loved it.
Absolutely.
That is a contrarian pick on purpose, and I see what you did there. Watching you, Anna.
And she also said that and the New Age RC. So of course, obviously everyone loves New Age. That far superior to Magiscore. So anyway. I guess we can we need to stretch it out to a full show, Rob, but why not go here in hour 3, talk about what we're looking forward to, because
we can save it. It's totally fine.
I want to know what you're looking forward to, Rob. More X-Transbots?
Yes. Got a lot of upgrades this year, with Magnus and Mirage. New Mirage came out, even though the Trans Element Mirage, I love that toy, but the Fansworth ones is more accurate, so I bought it, in Perceptor or whatever. But seeing the rest of MMC's Predictabots, I'm stoked for that. And then X-Transbots is getting into some more obscure stuff, like maybe this year, like Punch Counterpunch might come out, Runabout and Runamuck might come out, a much better Nightbeat and Minerva might come out. Like I have the Minerva from Fans Hobby, but those
I love those.
The Headmaster Juniors they're good toys, but they are aesthetically totally off from the cartoon. Especially Minerva. Minerva isn't toy accurate. She's not cartoon accurate. She's just her own thing. And she's not bad, but like I'm looking forward to getting a more, masterpiece centric line of those. KFC might put out their Power Master Optimus Prime, or really it's God Genrai because it's based off Master Force. They might put out their Genrai. They've had that Nick designed that toy like forever ago because he designed all the KFC stuff. Not this Nick, a different Nick but he left. He quit doing it, and so like all the KFC projects stopped. Because he'd done that whole line, but apparently they've finally got another engineer, and we've seen stuff throughout the years. So I would love to see that come to fruition. Hope it's as good as it could be. So yeah, there's a lot of cool new characters, oddball characters coming down the pipe. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Nice to see some Omnibots finally come out.
Yeah,
they've announced Omnibots and all that too. I'm not sure what else is supposed to come out this year, but those would be great as well.
I would really like to see some official ones finally.
Speaking of official toys, I'm not sure which one is a deluxe regular and which one is Studio Series Air Razor, but the new Air Razor toys both look really good. And the one that that doesn't share any like engineering with the Kingdom Air Razor or Terrorsaur just looks like a phenomenal toy, and the design and aesthetics of that. And we've had a lot of bird transformers over the years, and it's not an easy animal to make into a transformer, and the design choices they made on this new one just really blow me away. So I'm excited to see what else we're going to get from Rise of the Beast. The Scourge pictures we started seeing the last 48 hours are like, all right. But that area.
I haven't even looked at those yet. I should do that.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a weird watermark on it. I'm just wondering, like, all right, what is the racial slur that's like up in that watermark?
No.
I can't quite read what the word is. I can see the letters, but anyways, that's beyond the point. Beside the point. But yeah, that Air Razor toy does, like, I've not been this excited for a movie toy, I think maybe ever.
Yeah, I mean, I do think some of those movie toys look somewhat interesting, but they can't pull me back in, darn
it. I'm with you. It's like, yeah, they're movie toys. They'll be good or they won't. I am not emotionally invested anymore.
I'm not either, but she just looks like a darn good toy. Like I will call a spade a spade. If they make a darn good toy, I will likely try and pick it up. And it, to me, it doesn't look like the Bayverse, like we're gonna make this overly complicated with random shards of metal sticking out every which way.
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm happy to, once I have a movie toy in hand, say, wow, this is a really great toy. It's just on the front end, I can't do that. I can't do the hype anymore.
They don't
They've
broken
me.
That's fair.
What am I excited for? I am excited for any additional Shattered Glass that maybe hasn't been announced yet. I am excited for the other two Dinobots, assuming one of them happens this year at least. And I'm excited for more crossovers. There were, 4 crossovers on that leak list?
Yep.
And if one of them is a Mystery Machine or, Kit or, anything like that, or the Turtle Van, which is entirely possible, I would be very, very excited.
Yeah, because we got a crossover with Power Rangers, so like they're friends.
Yeah.
Somewhat. Not like Playmates does anything good with the license anyways.
And I know, a couple of people in the chat mentioned the Commander class figures that got leaked or whatever. The Commander 86 Magnus, that's going to be exciting to see. And then the Commander Armada Optimus Prime as well.
I could get excited for the Magnus once I see some photos, but as an abstract concept, I'm good with what I got.
I mean, yeah. I assume that paying $80 for it, that they're going to do it right, hopefully. That's the hope. I guess we'll see, though.
You have more.
I can't think of any Commander class toy that's let me down yet. So,
yeah. That's true.
The Rodimus had some issues. He's too fragile in places. Like, it's a nice idea, but like those clear plastic parts should not be clear plastic. Billy went through 2 of them. They shattered.
Huh.
So,
I never really had an issue with mine.
Yeah, nor have I heard of anyone. Watch, I'll go to pick mine up next, and it's like, oh, well, there's the issue. Just
shatter. So, and
Catherine, I don't mean to jinx it for anybody.
Catherine says honorable mention to Beast Box Lava, the horse. So, because there's not a lot of robot horses. So.
Yeah, we got to get more robot horses if I ever have any hope of getting another like Twilight Sparkle.
Is that this one, Catherine? I can't read not English, so I have a couple of Beast Boxes that I haven't opened yet. These 2.
Which one's the horse, Rob?
Let me look at this now. Maybe I'm confusing.
The first one I held up. It looks like it's got like flames and crap on it. I don't know if that's it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Rob, I haven't been able to see your video the entire show, so I can just see your video on my phone from the last one.
So there's a little bit of a delay.
Well, you've been frozen for like the last half hour, Phil, so.
Longer than that.
Just the
media-wise, give me more Earthspark. Earthspark season 1 or first 10 episodes, whatever you want to call it. 1 point, season 0.5 was great. Give me more of that.
I noticed nobody said they're looking forward to Rods of the Best.
I mean, I don't know. Like, hopefully, I look forward. I hope it's a good movie. That's, if it's decent like Bumblebee was, then I'll be excited.
Did you watch the trailer? Okay, yeah, just you need to curb that real quick.
But Rob, didn't you see Optimus Primal in the end zone of that football game? He was there on a football field. It was Optimus Primal. It was great, and he had his 2 swords.
America loves football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Serious note, though, I haven't seen updates since we came live. I really hope that Buffalo Bills player is not lost his life today.
Yeah, I haven't don't know either. So, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I felt like what we're looking forward to for the year was more geared towards toys rather than
it was,
media.
but that's because I don't pay attention to media at all anymore.
Right.
So
watch Earthspark.
I mean, the Earthspark show was really well done. It's a fun show to watch. I don't know.
Okay.
But
anyway, I hope that we hear from Takara about some Beast Wars Masterpiece figures this year. I don't know that we will, but I hope we do. And I'm looking forward to their Skyfire and Trailbreaker. I hope they turn out well, but time will tell.
Yeah.
We just hear about more MP stuff in general.
They're real spits and bursts with that stuff. It's like nothing forever, and then it's like, oh, here's 3 G1 figures, within a month that we're going to tell you about, and then they go quiet again for a year. And then Beast Wars, it's just I don't have no idea on that at all.
My friend's Trailbreaker is on the way right now from Japan, and like coming from Japan into Alaska and crossing over the international date line. It's like, nope, sorry, your Trailbreaker went back into 2022.
You whip.
All right, well, thank you guys for joining me tonight. It was a lot of fun kind of going through top figures, and thank you to everyone in the chat that participated. Thanks to Zaldron and Ron, thanks to Catherine, thanks to David, thanks to Anna earlier in the chat.
Jay Holla.
As well. So yeah, thanks guys, appreciate it.
Brewman can invite me.
Oh yeah, I guess Ron says Takara has to shove all the rest of the train bots out before they get to the good stuff.
That is true. I keep completely forgetting that thing exists, and so yeah, they're busy with that, I guess.
Yeah.
I like them.
Such a disappointment to me.
Really?
Well, I mean, like I didn't bother to buy them. Like maybe in hand I would feel differently, but just I hate the way they look.
I really like them.
See, this is why you need to start buying more Fisher, Rob.
I'm good.
All right. Well, thanks, guys, and we'll see you next week.
All right, man. Have a great one.